I spent the last few days analyzing every single high-performing VSL from people you might know to determine what truly makes a 7-figure VSL. And after spending time dissecting them, I realized there are only 3 VSL formats that are proven to perform well time and time again. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they are, when to use them depending on your offer, and also the benefits and the downsides of every single one. Because not only the people you know use them, but also those are the same 3 types of VSLs that I used with my clients to generate more than $1.1 million in revenue in 2025 alone. So let's get into it. First one, the story VSL. Those are all of those videos that usually start with how I went, how I turned, how I gained. You can see all of those examples in the make money online space, fitness, but also literally in any other niche that you can imagine. And there are 3 things that you need to keep in mind while creating them to make them perform well. The first one is title. This is pretty straightforward. Literally just use this template right here. How I went from negative thing to the dream outcome in time frame. Next one is thumbnail. And there is 3 things you need to know right here. First is 3 focal points. So as you can see in those thumbnails, you will mostly have 1, 2, 3 focal points, and as you can see, almost every single one of them uses that. Also arrow. The second thing is also clear before and after. And of course, in fitness, it's pretty simple. You just showcase your pic before and after. But also, as you can see in make money online space, this can be really exaggerated to make the contrast even bigger. And the last thing is time frame and specific numbers. And now let's look closely into how to create the actual video. First, the intro. It shouldn't be any more than 1 minute. The sweet spot is around 30 to 45 seconds. And it uses the 3P framework. Promise, proof, plan. When it comes to the promise, it's gonna be sentences like, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create great VSLs. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how to create 7-figure VSLs. Or the last one that performs really well is everyone says that creating a VSL is a complicated thing, but the truth is, you see what I mean. Next, the proof. For example, because we did that with client John, where we tripled his business, I'm going to show you that based on the results that we had with our clients. And I know that because not only did I analyze all of those videos, but also I helped X people achieve X. And the last one is plan, so basically breaking down step by step what is going to be happening in the video. So in this video, I'm going to show you X and all of those below. And that's how you create intro. You need to make sure that the title plus thumbnail are coherent with the video. Then you need to tell people why they should listen to you. And at the end, you should lay the map for the next couple of minutes. Next up, the body of the video. First, make sure that this is idiot proof. And what it means is basically using simple language, especially when breaking down something complicated, because if you don't, it can really hurt your retention. Because if people don't know what you are saying, they will probably stop watching the video. Next up is loops, and it all comes back to the actual plan. And this is how you can think about those loops. If you have a video that is, let's say, 20 minutes long, you can have multiple 1-minute segments, and every single one of them gives people just this one like dopamine hit, this one next step, and it builds on top of each other. So that means that they can have those payoffs pretty often in the video, and this is how you keep the retention going and going. And on top of that, the last thing is retention-driven language. Those are strategic phrases like, now before I explain that, first let me tell you about this, emphasizing the best parts. So for example, here is the crazy part, best part, and also using sentences like, before we get to X, the common misconception is, or differently you can say, something I hear over and over again, which is not true, is. And the whole purpose here is that those microhooks re-engage attention every 30 to 60 seconds. Works incredibly well, especially selling B2C. And the last step is pitch. This is usually the last 1 to 2 minutes of your video where you start pitching, and at the end you do a call to action. First, you reintroduce the proof, then you reintroduce the social proof that you have, because this is what your viewers will care most about. And the reason is it is much more powerful to say that you generated X amount of money for someone instead of saying that you generated that for yourself, because they don't really care about how you are doing, they care how they will be doing if they decide to work with you. The next step, and actually this is kind of like a bonus point, is to do a 1 close-up look. And what I mean by that is you just take the best result that you generated and you kind of break it more in detail, maybe for the next 10 to 30 seconds, going more in depth, explaining the pain that the prospect had and explaining the benefit that he has right now. Then you say something like, so if you want to skip the trial and error and achieve the dream outcome, just like this guy right here did, just DM me, just fill out the form, just click the link in bio, you do a call to action. And this is how you do the pitch. And if you check any single one of those videos, you will see that all of them follow this format right here. Now, those are the upsides of those YouTube story VSLs. They work especially well if you are selling B2C. And the reason is because you are introducing your story usually, or maybe your client story, you can easily pack quite a lot of emotions inside of this video. And if you do that correctly, use the correct language, you can really attract a bunch of B2C clients. The second is that they get a lot of reach organically on YouTube. Well, this is pretty obvious, so I'm not gonna get into that. And the last thing is they are pretty easy to pull off, because all you need to do is just take the transformation of you, or your client and break it down, adding quite a lot of emotions and also following this structure right here. And when it comes to the downsides of this strategy, the first and obvious one is that there is quite light conversion when it comes to it. And the reason is that 99% of people will just watch this as the usual YouTube and they will go binge watching other things later. The second thing is that you cannot collect any contact info upfront. Again, the same reason. Because we are treating it as a YouTube video, kind of like a lead magnet, you can even think. You cannot have any pop-out pages, your meta pixel can't collect the data and all of those above. And the last downside is that they work weaker on higher intent leads. And the reason is that they need to first click on the video, then go to your description, then click a specific link in your bio, and then actually take the action. So if there's a prospect that literally has a burning floor underneath him, the two strategies that we're gonna mention in a second are much better to capture them. And that leads us to the second one, training VSL. And before that, quickly, if you are enjoying this video right now and you would like me to personally review your entire content funnel, then just click the first link in the description, fill out your info, and I will literally record a personalized video for you where first I break down what are your bottlenecks, and then I show you exactly how to fix them. Then just click the first link in the description. Okay, back to the video. Those are all of those videos that usually cover some type of system, step-by-step plan, map, or framework. And there are three things that you need to keep in mind to actually make them perform good. The first one is using very specific numbers. When you're gonna see all of those videos use very specific numbers, probably to showcase that they're real and to create curiosity so people are interested in clicking in them. Next up is a clear step-by-step plan. Usually those plans are more sophisticated in this type of video than in the previous ones. And the reason is that those videos are basically just that. They are giving you all of this free value in the type of, let's say, free course training. And that's why this is where you either make or break this video. And the third thing you need to keep in mind is to give people information, but not implementation. Because what will happen is that they will have all of this information that they just consume and that they are happy with, but they will need implementation to actually get the results. And they will come to you for the implementation. Now, when it comes to the upsides of this strategy, the first one is that they work especially well if you are selling B2B or even like B2C, so business to solopreneur. But as you can see, there are also people that use them to sell B2C, just like, for example, Iman does. The second is that they target more logical buyers, meaning that the 80% of the market that needs more nurturing. And that means that this is a complete opposite of the story VSL that we just broke down, because the story targets more of an emotional buyer. This one targets the people that actually will think, okay, this guy knows something about it, so this is why I will take the next step. Not because he pinpoint my emotion, but because he actually is knowledgeable about the topic. And the last upside is that it, of course, positions you as an authority in the space. And again, the contrast with the story video, the story can be presented in a very family-like way, right? Kind of like very warm. This always places you as someone above the viewer, which can be a benefit for you. And when it comes to the downsides, again, light conversion, the same way as with the YouTube VSL. The second downside, again, the same, you cannot collect any contact info upfront. And the last is that they are really hard to pull off, because as you can see, mostly those videos are anywhere from 25 to even 1 hour long, and they usually also require very specific knowledge inside of them, which can take quite a lot of time to break down in a simple way for your viewers. And that brings us to the third format, finally, landing page VSLs. And let's be honest, there is like a million things that go into creating a great landing page. So I'm not gonna cover all of them today because that would alone take a few hours. Instead, let's just focus about what makes a great VSL on those landing pages. So before I give you the copy and paste method, let me actually explain to you how to pull them off. First thing, start with a guarantee or an outcome. Sentences like, we will guarantee you X in Y amount of time, or you don't pay. We will do a specific outcome, and, or the last one that I see quite often is everyone in the specific niche gives you vanity metric. So for example, in my, that would be everyone gives you followers instead of actually driving revenue for your business. And that's why instead we will do a specific thing. The second thing to keep in mind is proof over promise. And the reason for that is that we are in a trust recession. And that means that people are tired of watching those same VSLs over and over again, because the promise will be always the same, right? I will fix this problem for you. But the thing that will differentiate you is your proof, not the promise. And the third thing to keep in mind is to answer all the common objections and questions that keep coming on your sales calls. The way to do that is, of course, now what I will hear a lot is, and one of the most common things that I hear is about this specific thing. So those are the three things that actually make this perform pretty well. And now when it comes to the copy and paste method. So this is a little present for you. Literally just make a screenshot of it, put it inside ChatGPT, answer all of those questions, and it will pop out a great VSL for you. The first one is the biggest conversion. So out of those three, this is definitely when you will see the biggest percentage when it comes to the conversion. The second thing is that you can have a really strong call to action. And the reason for that is that you don't need to rely on keeping the retention, and you can be much more specific about what you do, who you help, how you help them, and showing all of the results. And that means that the person will feel that you are talking to them 100%, and that basically makes them much more willing to take the next step. And the last benefit is that, of course, you collect info because you can have a pop-up, or at least your pixel can collect it for you. And when it comes to the downsides of this strategy, the first one is that this is definitely the highest cost one, meaning not only that it will cost you to actually build out the landing page, which is, pretty low cost, but I'm talking more about the fact that it will usually cost you 5-10 times more per lead to hop on your landing page and actually watch it and take action than from the previous methods. The quality usually will be higher and the intent will be higher, but the cost overall will be much higher. So if you haven't optimized the entire conversion cycle, then it can really hurt your business. The second thing, kind of the continuation actually, is that it is definitely the method with the biggest amount of friction. That means that the amount of things that need to occur for someone to actually be, let's say, converted into a booked call or any specific KPI that you want them to do is, of course, a lot of friction, right? First, you need to get them off a social media that they've been to your specific landing page. It needs to load, they need to watch the video, read the title, click the button, fill out the form. There's so many things that need to occur, and this is why the cost will be higher. And the last thing is that there is a lot of market tiredness. That means that a lot of people just are tired of looking at the landing page layout, right? And they know that at the end of the day, at least they will be paying you with their contact info, when on YouTube they can just watch it with like literally zero risk to their site, meaning that they don't need to spend 10 seconds giving you their email. And this is it for today. Those are the 3 VSL formats that work time and time again. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.